I want to talk about Donald Trump's claim and promise to provide paid IVF treatments to families across America. On this page, we determine if the things that politicians claim to care about are being followed up with actionable solution or if they are just saying empty promises to get elected. So let's talk about this topic with Donald Trump. I'm not going to provide my opinion at all. I am only going to talk about the historical legislation and the action of our politicians around this country as it pertains to the IVF treatments. So let's take a look at what he said and then let's get started.
I'm announcing today in a major statement that under the Trump administration, your government will pay for, or your insurance company will be mandated to pay for, all costs associated with IVF treatment, fertilization for women, IVF treatment. Because we want more babies, to put it very nicely.
Really quickly, if you don't know what it is, it's a procedure that helps people get pregnant by fertilizing eggs outside the body and then transferring them to the uterus. This is helping people who are struggling with infertility issues have babies. It is expensive. I have a friend who just went through this, $15,000 to $30,000, and medications can range anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000. So his claim and promise to provide paid IVF treatments is a wonderful option. But let's take a look at what else he said and get into the legislation.
But I've been in favor of IVF right from the beginning.
I just jumped on over to AI. Yes or no, Donald Trump has implemented or even supported legislation or policy of any kind for IVF treatments over the span of his entire career? No.
Talk to them, they'll say, oh, he really doesn't like, they have ads like I'm against it. It's just the opposite. By comparison, they're against it, but I'm totally in favor of it.
Here is a complete list of states that have successfully passed legislation requiring insurance carriers to cover an IVF treatment, which is what he is promising. You have 14 Democratic states that have done this and 4 Republican states. In contrast to this, here's an updated and comprehensive list of states that have attempted but failed to pass legislation requiring insurance to pay for IVF treatments. You have 13 Republican-run states who have failed to do the thing that he is promising to do. You have 2 states that are a split majority of Democrats and Republicans who have also failed to do this. In fact, the Right to IVF Act was introduced by Tammy Duckworth of Illinois. Here is the bill. Do you see how it's highlighted? It's because I put the entire bill in AI and said, please summarize this bill. Here is what it promises to do. Feel free to pause and read through this. Here's the rest of it. Again, feel free to pause. But I especially like that they focused on veterans and service members and their ability to have fertility treatments paid for. Yes or no? Is there anything else in the bill that doesn't have to do with IVF treatments? No. No, there's not. Here's the roll call on the bill. It failed. And this just happened, okay? Because Republicans, 46 of them voted no. 45 Democrats voted yes. And this did not receive bipartisan support from the Republican senators. So it did not even move past the floor of the Senate because only 2 Republicans voted yes. Let me show you why this is important. For him to follow through on this promise and provide this federally, not only would it need to pass the same senators that just turned this down, it would need to go to the House of Representatives, which is full of Republicans as well, receive bipartisan support, and then be sent to him for him to sign into law or to veto this. Let's just say that miraculously during his presidency, it received bipartisan support and it needed even a deciding vote. The Vice President of the United States serves as a tie-breaking vote in a situation like this. Here is a reminder of all of the states that have failed to do what Donald Trump is promising. Here is Ohio, which is where J.D. Vance is. And here are all the ones that have succeeded, which is where Minnesota is with Tim Walz. And here is a zoomed-in screenshot of the roll call of the Right to IVF Act, where J.D. Vance, Donald Trump's right-hand man, voted no on this bill. What his team will vote on is extreme laws that have no exceptions for these items, including the life of the mother, when it comes to reproductive rights of women, which are all red states. Why would states have such harsh restrictions? List reasons. Let's go down here to number 6. Workforce concerns. Desire to increase birth rates for economic growth. I still have not said a single one of my opinions. But let's listen one more time to the man who has a lot of them.
Because we want more babies, to put it very nicely. Because we want more babies, to put it very nicely. Because we want more babies, to put it very nicely.